Have you ever felt that the promises in your life seem delayed? Perhaps you're waiting for a breakthrough in your career, a healing in your body, or a reconciliation in your relationships, and it feels like it's never going to come. Do you sometimes wonder if God's timing is off, or if maybe you've been forgotten in the grand scheme of things? Today we're going to delve deep into a timeless story from the Bible that speaks directly to this kind of waiting. An excruciating, hope-testing, faith-stretching kind of waiting. And trust me, friends, the insights we uncover today could transform the way you look at delays in your own life. In Genesis 16:14 through 17:27, we explore the story of Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar, a narrative that many of us can relate to in our seasons of waiting and questioning. This text might be ancient, but its lessons are timeless, replete with wisdom applicable to our modern lives. Let's set the scene. Abraham and Sarah had been promised a child by God, a promise that seemed impossible given their advanced age. Years passed, and the promise hadn't been fulfilled. In their impatience and desperation, Sarah suggested that Abraham have a child with her maid, Hagar, to fulfill God's promise in their way, on their terms. Does this scenario sound familiar? How many times have we tried to take matters into our own hands when God seems to delay? Hagar did bear a son, Ishmael, but this wasn't the fulfillment of God's promise. Instead, it brought more complexity and heartache into their lives. Eventually, God did fulfill his promise, and Sarah bore Isaac. But in those years in between, there was a profound lesson in faith and trust to be learned. The scripture says, "Then God said to Abraham, 'As for Sarai, your wife, you are no longer to call her Sarai. Her name will be Sarah. I will bless her, and will surely give you a son by her. I will bless her so that she will be the mother of nations. Kings of peoples will come from her.'" Genesis 17:15-16. Here's where we see the pivotal moment. It's a reminder that God's promises come in his perfect timing, not ours. Can you imagine the relief, the joy, and the amazement Abraham and Sarah felt at that moment? After years of waiting and perhaps doubting, their promise was finally about to become a reality. This story isn't just about Abraham and Sarah. It's about us. It's about you and me learning to trust in God's timing, even when everything around us screams for immediate action. The key lesson here is that having faith in God's promises, even when they seem delayed, can lead to profound blessings and fulfillment. The delay isn't a denial, it's a divine preparation period. Think about your life. Are there areas where you've tried to rush God's timing? Have you taken shortcuts, hoping to achieve what you believed was a promise in your own strength? Reflect on those times and see how they compare to the story of Sarah and Abraham. Doesn't it shift your perspective? Moreover, this passage teaches us the value of trust and patience. When we rush ahead and try to take control, we often end up with more problems, much like Sarah and Hagar. But when we trust in God's perfect timing, the results align not with our limited vision, but with his grand and incredible plan. Let's take this into our heart. Waiting is not a passive act. It's an active trust in God. Each moment of waiting is a chance to build our faith, to strengthen our trust, and to prepare ourselves for the blessings that he has in store. Just like Sarah and Abraham, our waiting period can be a time of profound personal growth and deepening faith. As we wrap up today, think about how these lessons can apply to your life right now. What promises are you waiting on? How can you trust God more deeply in your waiting? And most importantly, what steps can you take to align your actions and thoughts with his perfect timing rather than rushing ahead with your plans? Now, if you believe, like Jesus, that God has a bigger plan for your life and that you're willing to wait and trust in his timing, leave a comment below saying, "I believe," and wait. Let's create a community of faith and support for each other in this journey. And remember, this journey through the Bible continues next time as we delve into Genesis 18, where we witness another profound encounter with God's timing and promises. Stay tuned and subscribe if you haven't already, so you don't miss this life-changing series. You won't want to miss it. Until next time, keep the faith, trust God's timing, and live with hope and expectation for the marvelous plans he has for you.